All right, I have a hot take about modern metal. Um, I think that okay, look, everybody's talking about how the Vintage 30 and the SM57 combo sounds the same, and it made every heavy metal band sound the same. That is like modern, right? But I think that there's a deeper factor at play, and that is market competition. Because in the market today, people are not paying for albums, right? Don't you don't see people walking into a record store being like, "Damn, what album do I want to buy this month or this week?" Right? It doesn't happen. I'm 23 years old. I was born in 1999, right? It's 2023. In today's day and age, people don't buy albums. That's foreign concept to my generation, right? Right? Like paying for music, the fuck? Music is free. You know what I mean? Like that's that's an element of it. Market competition does not exist anymore with heavy metal. Therefore, bands have not had the fire lit under their ass of market competition, which is what caused the Beatles to fucking succeed, which is what caused Paul McCartney to become Paul McCartney, caused Gene Simmons from Kiss to become Gene Simmons, right? All these successful rich motherfuckers, there's a fucking reason why they're rich. It's because market competition. And they won, right? Because they kept advancing and advancing and advancing. That's why Metallica is the fucking gotta be the richest heavy metal band of all time, right? Because they just kept advancing and kept advancing, and through market competition, they got there. They changed and developed and wrote music, right? But I think that the problem with like modern metal bands, like let's take for instance Periphery. Do they really sound all that different on the two singles they dropped from Periphery 5 Genta's Not a Genre? Do they really sound that different from when they were doing Juggernaut Alpha and Juggernaut Omega? Not really. Because to they don't have to worry about album sales, right? So they don't have the economic fire lit under their ass to fucking produce, right? Therefore, they're going to stagnate, right? And that's the same thing why every fucking heavy metal band nowadays sounds exactly the fucking same. It's because it's a non-competitive environment, so they don't have to compete and be, write better and play better and write better because they don't have to, because they are not incentivized through market competition. In other words, it's like, okay, imagine like a car salesman, right? A car salesman usually makes commission, right? So they're out there hustling, you know, trying to get after it, get after it, get after it, right? When it comes to album sales, people don't buy albums. Therefore, imagine how fucking excited a car salesman would be to sell you a car if he wasn't making commission. He wouldn't give a fuck one way or the other if you bought the car. So he's not going to try very hard, right? So that's the element of album sales that has crippled heavy metal music. Is because, like, look, they don't have to sell it. All they're selling to you is to see them live and merch. And maybe you'll buy their CD. But to listen to their music is free, which used to cost money. So they don't have to work at. Damn, my fingernails are dirty. Anyway, they don't need to work as hard to put out an album that's going to sell because they are not incentivized to do so. They don't make commission off of album sales. That's not where their money comes from. Their money comes from touring and from selling merch on tour. You know, I went to go see Meshuggah live, right? me and one of my me and somebody that I used to be friends with, fuck him, um, we went to go see Meshuggah, and we also went to go see Goat Whore a year and some change before that, um, which was fucking awesome, by the way. Goat Whore puts on a great live show. So does the band Necrofire, by the way. If you see the band Necrofire playing in your area, definitely go see them. They put on a fantastic show. Anyway, oh, also Frozen Soul, they're pretty good too. Uh, I think they might. I think they're local to me actually. I'm a Houston guy, but anyway, this is besides the point. Okay, look, tickets to see Meshuggah was and In Flames and Torch was $50, right? It was at the Warehouse Live in downtown Houston. It's a pretty good sized venue. It ain't no arena, but it's a big room, right? And it was packed. In my guesswork, has to have been like, I don't know. It was several hundred people. Might have been 1,000 people, right? Yeah, it might have been 1,000 people, right? So I think it was sold out, right? Um, and I bought me a shirt from Meshuggah. I bought me an In Flames shirt, and I bought the guy that went with me. I bought him a Meshuggah shirt because he didn't give a fuck about In Flames. So he was just there for Meshuggah. I was there for In Flames and Meshuggah. And Torch was an unexpected surprise. I was not expecting a doom band to be playing with fucking In Flames and with Meshuggah. It was a nice touring package, right? So okay, so we're there. In total, shirts were $35. So I spent what, $105 even, basically on T-shirts and $50 a ticket. So because he had a ticket, I had a ticket, and there was three shirts. So that's $200, right, for two people, right? So let's say the average person buys a ticket and two T-shirts, right? This is not even counting drinks, okay? So you gotta figure, okay, that's if it's a ticket and one T-shirt, that's $85 a head, right? And if you figure somebody bought two T-shirts, that's which is fairly unlikely. But nah, fuck that. I'm not even gonna calculate that. Okay. Well, actually, no, because you need to divide it amongst the bands that were there. Okay, so hold on. Okay, let's say the person there bought two T-shirts and a ticket. That's $70 plus $50. That's $120, right, per head, right? So let's say you multiply that by 500, right? So that's a pretty good amount of money. And then let's just factor in some people bought in. Like, let's say there was 1,000 people there. Let's say half of them bought two T-shirts. Let's say half of them bought one T-shirt, and let's say, well, no, because then they had hoodies that were more expensive. So, okay, fuck it. Let's say 50% of them bought a ticket and two T-shirts, right? Let's say a quarter of, like, let's say 10% of them bought a ticket and a hoodie. That's $100. Let's say 15% of them bought a ticket and three T-shirts, one for each band. And let's say the remainder bought, you know, let's say a ticket and no T-shirt. you gotta admit that's a pretty good amount of money, and you do X amount of shows. You have to factor in for gas. You have to factor in for your bills back home, because that doesn't just go away. You need to figure for if you're foreigners, the cost of getting into the country, stuff like that, right? So you have to think about all these things, right? So when they do these U.S. tours, like let's say when Meshuggah goes on tour in America, I mean they probably have to do a lot of shows to make ends meet, and that's like when Misha from Periphery said when they tour Europe they make nothing. I believe it, and well, you have to think about this is like fuck you and your starving artist bullshit. Okay, fuck that starving artist shit. These people want to live a nice life, right? So album sales out of the question, right? Assume you're not going to make anything from that, so you got to tour your ass off. But here's the problem. Well, I don't know if bands are really selling CDs and vinyl at concerts now. Like, I don't know that they're really doing that. I know at like black metal shows they do that a lot. From what I've experienced myself, they'll usually have they always have fucking patches, dude. Like a shit ton of iron-on patches. They sell those. They usually sell a decent amount of T-shirts. They usually sell physical media like albums and shit at those. But as far as like people going into a record store, that element of your income is very small. That's why Kiss made so much money. That's why the Beatles made so much money. That's why Paul McCartney is fucking loaded. That's why Metallica is rich. Is because they had money coming in from album sales every week, and they had to be hyper competitive, right? In their market. That's why the Black Album exists, because it's competitive, right? So you have to understand that for the time, that was that was what it was. You had to be competitive back then. You had to hustle. You had to, you know, it was like working on it was like working as a car salesman on commission. That's what being a musician used to be like, and now it's fucking now that element is gone. That commission element of musicians is gone. So they don't have to change. So why would they? They don't have to adapt, evolve, and overcome. So why would they? Because why should they care? It's not going to make a difference to how much money is in their pocket. So you got to think about it. People play incentives. That's the way economics works, right? If, and they have removed the supply and demand element from listening to music. So the music industry is the big wigs up top still make the same money. It doesn't matter to them, right? Because they still make money off your streams. Look at all these artists' contracts. A lot of the money goes to the label. Well, most of the money goes to the label, and the musician gets diddly fucking squat. And that's especially true now because back in the day, it probably wasn't so bad because the album sales were bringing in so much money that it offset it, right? I'm certain. So nowadays, because how else would Metallica have gotten rich? How else would have Kiss gotten rich? How else would Paul McCartney became the fucking man, the myth, the legend of fucking being a real ass G and having some money, right? How else would they have got there, right? Wouldn't make sense otherwise. That's why modern metal is so fucking stuck in its wheel, like spinning its wheels, stuck in its ways, is because the competition element of it is gone. So, if we want to make metal great again, the competition element of it needs to be back because people say now, oh, it's not a contest. Back in the day, it was, and that brought us Metallica, that brought us Megadeth, that brought us fucking all these badass bands. It's like, I see them doing this, you know, I want to play something that's even faster and meaner, right? Competition breeds excellence, and bands like Metallica, when they sped up Master of Puppets, they raised the bar, right? And now other bands that are like, fuck, Master of Puppets just came out. I need to compete and put out an even more badass album, right? and da da da, and make some money, so I can get paid and keep my fucking phone bill uh, paid, right? So that's why it is the way it is. So, uh, like, if you want to fix modern metal, start buying fucking albums, I guess. But for the average person, that's not, you know, something they're gonna spend so much money on, right? Like, I have friends that collect CDs and all that shit, but like, you don't really see a whole lot of those. And then, like, back in the day, it's like you would have friends that be like, "Oh man, I just got the new fucking Metallica album. It's called Master of Puppets. You know, let's go fucking jam this shit." Or like, even comedians talk about it. Like, Joey Diaz was talking about how he used to fucking do little bumps of coke and listen to Black Sabbath and cry. You know, shit like that. You know, shit like that. It's like, you have to think about the economic element of it too, because money makes the world go round. Money is not just, people say money is the root of all evil. That's bullshit. Money is what makes the world go round. And to sit here and prop up the whole starving artist image, like a lot of people seem to do, like a lot of people in the metal community, especially the underground, want to promote this idea of the starving artist. Like, they want you to stay where they found you when you were fucking halfway in your fucking grave. You know, and that especially applies to, like, even a lot of rappers like Eminem and fucking people like that. You know, people want the old M back, even though he was fucking gonna die. You know, he was, dying a slow death. Right? People want that back, and it's like, nah, dude, fuck that. You know, yeah. So people don't have to bring forth their rawest elements in their music now. You know, what pisses me off is that when I see so many of these, like, people doing playthroughs of their songs, like these modern metal bands, it's like, this motherfucker looks way too calm while he's doing it. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at, like, let's say Periphery, when you watch Misha play Marigold on that playthrough, guitar playthrough that they put out, he doesn't really look. There's no emotion really in his face about it, right? And people can feel that, people can see that. So, that's something that's going to be disadvantageous to all these guys. Or like, a lot of guys that, like, they'll play and it's like there's no feeling behind it, right? There's no it doesn't make you want to do karate moves in your room. So, yeah, I don't know. That's my hot take on metal, is that the competition element of it has been removed, and so has everything else that has made it good. So, yeah. God bless you. I love you. Take care of yourselves and make metal great again.